Hello and welcome back to Stitchcraft. My name is Mary the Stitchcraft Queen, and today is Wednesday, September 17th of 2025. I say this every month, but can't believe we're already at basically the end of September. We're in the second half of September, which is kind of crazy. Good crazy. What's even crazier is I am now 32 plus, 3-ish days, 32.5 weeks pregnant. Yeah, I keep telling myself, and I'll talk about this a little bit more in the pregnancy section, but I have anywhere between 5 to 8 weeks left until baby girl is here. So just over a month and we will have little baby girl, which we're so excited. So can't wait to get her out of me and have my body back, but that's a different story. Okay, let's talk today about whips. It's been 2 weeks since I last saw everyone, so hello, how you doing? Last week I was unable to get on because now my OBGYN appointments, now that I'm past 38 weeks, and I'm already out of breath. Oh my goodness. But anyways, my OBGYN appointments now are every 2 weeks, and starting in, it's when I hit week 35, so not next time, but the time after, I basically start going in every single week. And that's just so they make sure everything's looking good down there and everything's doing what it needs to get baby out of me. Safely, that is, safely out of me. But yeah, anyways, last week I couldn't because we were busy. But I'll go into that a little bit later when we go into pregnancy and baby stuff. Okay, whips. I actually have progress this week. A lot of progress, I feel like. Okay, so last time I still had 2 sleeves and I had just set up to do the decreases basically on both of them. So yeah, and then I actually kind of found my, not Crow Joe, but my Knitting Joe back, I guess. My crafting desire came back, which was awesome. And yeah, so I don't have it finished yet, but I did have my husband try this on and he was so excited because he's like, my sweater, I waited 2 years for this. But here it is. We're still missing one sleeve over here, but we have one sleeve fully attached. Let me stand up and back up so you can see that. So we have one sleeve fully attached. And this is where I was last time, right on his little Luke Skywalker pin. I did basically all the decreases up. The decreases, I should get in the frame. The decreases took a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but once I got going, it was just so much fun. Sorry, shortness of breath from pregnancy, but it was really, really fun. And so I just kind of got into the groove and got it done. Yeah, my husband's, I had already seamed everything up except for the sleeves, and so this was an easy, just add the extra sleeve on. And I'll fold it back up. And then mine I took out and I still had a bajillion parts. I hadn't seamed anything together, so anyways, this is mine. Again, it's only halfway done, but it will look something like this. Obviously, it's gonna stretch once it blocks and flatten out, but I am really happy with it. It's super thick and super warm, so that is great. But yeah, it probably took me 3 to 4 hours, and it was Monday I did this. But I seamed everything up, including the pockets. The pockets, I think, are honestly the worst part to seam together. Even though I love pockets in sweaters, I don't think I ever want to put pockets in a sweater again. At least one that I make. Unless there is an easier way. But yes, here was my sleeve. And this is where I was at last week. Same exact spot as my husband's. If I remember right, maybe a little bit lower. But yeah, I did all of the decreases. Again, it took just a little bit longer than anticipated, but once you get going, it's actually quite a bit of fun to do the decreases. So because you have that fun little cable. So they went a lot faster than anticipated. Ugh, okay. Deep breath in and out. Okay, and then what else did I do? Because that's not all. I got, this is my husband's. I should put his little Luke Skywalker pin back on. I meant to get a Han Solo one to go with my Leia one, but alas, I did not. Okay, there's that. So that's where I am now. But I cast on, did the cuff. There's one round of increases for the cuff, swapped to the bigger needles, and then I did the first complete set of increases. So at first you increase about every 4 rounds till you get to a certain number of stitches, and then you increase every 6 rounds so that it has the nice little kind of almost balloon type shape, but then it tapers off as it still gets bigger. So now it's just the very long, the one that took a long time last time was the 6, what is it? The every 6 round increases. And here's mine. It's funny, mine looks longer because it is a little bit. The cuffs are the same size. I don't know why this one, but yeah, anyways, it is long. Mine's longer because on my sleeve, I was actually paying attention this time. It was probably actually I paid attention last time, but it was like the last time I did this part of the sleeves was like back in February, I want to say January or February, which is crazy to think about. But that's because I didn't knit for like, I didn't pick up needles for like 2 to 3 months. And when I did not want to work on this. Anyways, yeah, but I paid attention. I actually have more, I had more increases than my husband's sleeve at first. And then, yeah, because I had to get up to, I forgot how many it was. I think it was 70 stitches total. So anyways, but I did all of the first set of increases on mine as well. So now on both of them, it's the 6, every 6 rows. And I need to put my little Leia charm on so I know where I'm at. There we go. Okay. But yeah, so that's what I did this week. This week my goal is to get through 1 round of these 6 increases. It'll be my husband's. I'm doing his first because it's bigger and it takes longer. And I just want to get it done. I'd rather get that one done and then do mine and have it go like a little bit faster. It's like a weird mental game. But yeah. My new goal with these sweaters, because my fingers are starting, you probably can't tell, they are starting to puff up, especially in the morning, and then that kind of subsides. But I have noticed knitting, at least in the round, like with these, my fingers do start to cramp up a little bit. And it even started to happen before pregnancy, just not quite as bad. But yeah, so I don't want to push myself too hard. But my new goal with these sweaters is to get at least the sleeves done and attached before baby comes. The other reason for that is I only have, besides the 2 skeins I'm working off of, which they are about half used up right now, half used up each, I only have 3 skeins left. And that may sound like a lot enough, but if I remember correctly, each sleeve it was about 2.5 skeins. And so that leaves me right on the money, but I still need yarn to do the collar border. I forget what it's called. But the strip that goes up and around. Basically the entire inside of the sweater to finish it off. So yeah, that would be an issue. So I might have to order more, which is crazy because these sweaters already, when I was like getting the yarn for them 2.5, well, it was about 2.5 years ago about now. Because it was for my birthday. No, it was 2 years ago. It was for my birthday 2 years ago we got it. But anyways, we ordered 24 skeins of yarn because each one called for about 12. I think mine was like 11 and my husband's was 13 because his is bigger. But I was like, that seems like, even as a very new beginner knitter, I was like, that seems like a lot of yarn. And it was a lot of yarn. So yeah, we might have to get 1 or 2 more skeins. I'll probably start with 1, see how far it gets me, and then add another one if I need it, because I really don't want to have any more of this yarn in my stash. I've held on to it long enough. But yeah, I am pretty happy that I ended up waiting to do this a little longer than originally I wanted to. Just because the stitch is a little more like complicated. The decrease, like I still probably could have figured out the decreasing and everything. But I am glad I had a few other sweaters under my belt before knocking these ones out. But I'm very proud with the finished product so far. And I can't wait to see how it looks once it's done. The other really fun thing about these is, so this is the fisherman's rib or the fisherman's stitch. It's actually, from my research, it's a traditional Irish stitch from my homeland. I guess it's really my grandma's homeland, but you know, my ancestors like use this all the time, I guess, which is really cool. So it was fun to learn and have a little more of that like heritage kind of, you know, shown throughout and brought into my knitting. So yeah, but it would be really nice to have at least the sleeves done and attached before baby Celeste gets here. That gives me, you know, about 5 weeks on the earlier side, which I think is definitely reasonable. Because if I can get, in the next 2 weeks, if I can get at least through the increases, then that gives me 2 weeks to get through, well, 3 weeks technically to get through the decreases plus the rest of the length of the sleeve, which the rest of the length of the sleeve, it goes by pretty quick. They both needed just about, I think it was like 2 to 3 inches. And so that went by pretty quickly, especially because the yarn is so thick and bulky and the stitch pattern is pretty, it's pretty hefty as well. So yeah, but again, we'll see how that goes. Okay, but that's all for those. I love this too. This is a Christmas bag. I dug it out in January and I'm like, you know what, it's pink and it has some fun wintry things on there, so it should be fine. And then yeah, it's now what, September. I keep wanting to say it's like June because summer flew by so quick. But yeah. Okay, other yarny things. I finally am blocking, and I guess it's more washing, but also blocking some projects that need to be done. And really this happened because we've been organizing a lot for baby. I'm the type that likes to be over prepared. And so we've started to like really put our house together. That's why we now have this little cart up here, and in our room, the shelf that's on this wall, we started to organize, like we have some cube shelves that we put the TV on top of as well. But anyways, I'm like losing my pregnancy brain is so real and it's terrible. But anyways, we cleaned that out finally. We like haven't cleaned it out since we moved in. We would have done it a long time ago, but then I got pregnant and really sick and all those fun things kind of got in the way. So we finally cleaned it out though, put everything away, and started to organize it. Putting mainly blankets are in there because we do have a lot of blankets. The trunk, which is right there, the one that Chani likes to sit on, was like overflowing with, and a lot of them were blankets that I had knit or crocheted and I wanted to kind of display them, so we put them in our cube shelves. But one of them, and I'd almost forgotten about this, and then I remembered, but right before we moved, when I was like finishing the border of this blanket, and BB one night got jealous. She does this occasionally, not so much anymore because she knows that she gets in big trouble if she does this. But But she was jealous of the attention we were giving to Chani, which was giving her belly rubs. And she peed on our bed to get attention. And she was in big trouble for it, don't you worry. But I forgot that some of it had gotten on my crocheted blanket, the hexagon Christmas one that I was making. So I just need to wash it. I meant to do it a long time ago, and then we moved, and then, yeah. And I didn't want to do it like right in the middle of making the blanket, because I didn't want like ends to come undone. And so I was just like, whatever, we're just gonna, we'll put this in a spot where it's not gonna get other things gross. And that's what we did. But now I would like to wash it. So I need to today, that's actually something I'm doing, is we're going to clean, we have to do this anyways, we have to clean the tub that little Cece will be using. Obviously she has an infant bathtub that will go in the tub as well, so she is safe and not drowning in water, knock on wood. But yeah, so I need to clean that tub, and then once that's clean, I will be blocking that blanket, and then I will probably, which I have to do that one last because there is a green that I'm worried is gonna bleed everywhere, because when I was knitting with it, it got all over my hands. So I'm imagining that will probably bleed everywhere. But first I'm also gonna be blocking our hats and washing my Musselburgh hat that I made and finished. It was like a year or two ago, a year ago, it was about a year and a couple months ago. I finished my first Musselburgh hat. It's crazy to think I made, how many? 5, 6, 7, I've made 8 of them in a year. That's crazy to think about. But yeah. So I need to wash that as well, because that fell on the floor quite a bit when we were moving. And it wasn't even the floor, it fell like outside on the asphalt at a gas station. And I'm kind of a germaphobe, and so that just gross. I'm like, I'm not putting that back on my head, so I need to wash that. But yeah, so I will be doing that today and setting those out to dry, and then our little hats can be packed in our hospital bag. But yeah, I have my little thing of soak out to help with that, so that will be done today. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about pregnancy stuff first. I'm at the point in my pregnancy where I am just over it. I am so over being pregnant. And I still have 1 to 2 months to go, and it kind of sucks, but that's okay. We're getting through it. We're almost there. But I am like just so incredibly sick of throwing up every single day. I've thrown up for every day for almost 7 months now. Because the first month I was moody, didn't know I was pregnant. And then basically week 5 started, and I basically threw up every day since then. I had a little break when I was on the drugs, but I still dry heave all the time, so I'm counting that because that sucked. And there are days where I've thrown up multiple times. But yeah, I am over it. So I got that right there, that BB sniffing. That is her new $200 toy. She loves it though. It's so worth it. It's gonna be so great to have, but that is her automatic ball thrower. And last night, we've only had it for 3 days. She's so smart. She finally figured out that like where to put the ball, and then like she has to sit and wait for it to launch it. But she just gets so happy and gets rid of so much energy. But it's turned off right now on the shelf, but she keeps going up and sniffing it because she wants to play with it. Which makes me happy because she likes it. But anyways, yeah, I'm tired of throwing up every single day. Threw up this morning. So great. So much fun. The other thing I'm tired of, I have felt nauseous almost 24/7 for, again, this entire pregnancy. And I am sick of it. And I am so tired of it. And I want it to be done and over with. I hate being a part of like, what is it? It's like the 2 to 5% of people that have to deal with this, because it's garbage and it's terrible. And I know I had a lot of friends actually that are, you know, this is gonna get a little political, but they're anti-abortion, which is fine. Like I'm a Christian, you know, I understand why you'd have those beliefs. But I also believe stronger that women should have the ability to choose, because my faith shouldn't have to impact somebody else's decision. But anyways, this like has furthered, a lot of them would say, oh, once you have a kid, you're gonna be anti-abortion, like, and pro-life, whatever. It's not actually pro-life. But no, it makes me be even more pro-abortion because I'm like, this is terrible. And if I was a single mom and I had to be bedridden for 2 months basically without any income, there's no way I could have done this. The only way I did this was because I had an amazing partner who also makes, the bulk of our income. But if I was a single mom that got pregnant, or like a teen that got pregnant, I couldn't do this. Like it would be impossible in this like economic situation, or I guess in this economy, I should just say, to make it work. But yeah, so I'm really sick and tired of that. I am so sick and tired too. It's not sleep apnea. What's the one where it's you can't fall asleep, or you like randomly wake up and can't fall asleep? But you get that during pregnancy, and this last week, it's been like really bad. Normally it wouldn't be a big deal, but I am so tired all the time because baby girl is growing so much. She's at the point where she's growing 1/2 pound a week. This week she's between about 3 3/4, so 3.75 pounds to 4 pounds. And that's just her of the extra weight. I'm also carrying around, all my extra blood. I have 40 to 50% more blood right now than I used to before pregnancy. And my uterus is like a bajillion times bigger. And I have all of the amniotic fluids that I'm carrying around, which weigh a lot. And so it makes me so tired. And I have to keep reminding myself because I get frustrated. Where I'm like, I used to be able to do this. Like today, I was cleaning the house. Downstairs is clean, upstairs is definitely not. You can see all their toys still out. But I have to do it in like 2 spurts because my body just gets so tired. But I have to keep reminding myself, I'm growing a human. Like I am creating life. And I need to give myself some grace and a little bit of a break. My husband's really great. Like last night I got home from work. I definitely overdid it at work because I was overbooked. But I was like, we need the money to, put into savings and stuff and to continue to help pay for things for little baby girl. And I wanted to do some chores when I got home, but my body was like, I cannot. So I texted my husband and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I can't do this. And he's like, it's fine, let me do it, please. Like, he's great. He wants to do everything to help. Just me feel a little bit better. But yeah, heartburn. Heartburn is usually during the day, it's not bad. It's like right before I go to bed, it gets pretty bad. So Tums are my best friend. Luckily they taste yummy. At least at first, if you eat them and then you brush your teeth, a lot of times it'll have like a really metallic taste. So you almost want to eat them after you brush your teeth, which I know is not good, but whatever. My teeth are gonna fall out anyways from all the stomach acid that keeps coming back up. But yeah, so those are fun. And that's not even counting the back pain that I am almost 24/7 experiencing. It's mainly in my mid back, but also I will get pain in my hips and my pelvis thanks to the relaxin and the newfound giant mass that's sitting on my belly. So yeah, that's fun. And then I can't like turn or like do anything quickly anymore because those round ligaments that hold the uterus in place, they're real stretched out right now. And if you move too quickly, they hurt real bad. So that's fun. But yeah, this week too, I got to the point, a lot of people say once you get to around months 8 and 9, but mostly it's month 9. But for me, it started a little early. And I will be talking to my doctor about this next week. It's not a concern right now, but we want to make sure that it's okay if it continues. But it was last Thursday. Yeah, because Thursday was like my weird half day where I had like I didn't have a lot of patience that day. But anyways, not patients, clients. And so I came home pretty early from work. But anyways, I threw up 3 times that day. Twice was food. And so I just kind of like stopped eating the rest of that day because I was not feeling good. And then the next day, which was Friday, I ate very little. I could only eat a little bit at a time, or I would want to throw it up. And so I've kind of just continued that into this week, and it seems to be working. So yeah, I can't eat a lot at a time. I kind of got there before, which was nice, but now I am like, I can't do that. Luckily, I am right on the goal. I am right there with the weight gain that my health provider wanted me to get to. I was actually starting to approach the upper end of that, which was 30 pounds. She wanted me to gain anywhere between 25 and 30. And now we're getting back down closer to that 25. But anyway, since then, I have lost some weight. It's been, about 2-3 pounds this week. So not terrible, but also not great. I mean, I'm still getting food and nutrients in me, but it's definitely not as much as I would want. I have, though, for the past couple of days kind of leveled out and stayed at the same weight, so hopefully that will hold up. But yeah, it's something I'll definitely be talking to my OBGYN at next week's appointment. That's the other thing that just sucks is food. And this has been all throughout my pregnancy. I have not been able to eat a lot of the things that I normally love. Like sushi, sorry, I'm getting the hiccups, my goodness. We usually go do all you can eat sushi at least once a month. We love that. And we usually go get tons of Indian food, which Indian food, I was able to eat quite a bit of. Hot pot's another one we recently found that we loved. Hot pot's great. Burgers and fries we would go get all the time. It has been those are foods though that my stomach just can't handle it. I've only really been able to survive off of a lot of oat milk. So thanks, Oatly. And then a lot of very easy to digest carbs. Usually dinner's the one we'll try to splice it up a little bit more. So last week we did some tacos with some leftover Beyond Meat, and that was fine because we put a lot of avocado on top to kind of help neutralize the acidity of the taco meat. And then this week we're doing a pretty easy curry. Not easy, it's actually really hard to make, but it's delicious. It has some Beyond Steak and then potatoes and carrots and so many just good, delicious spices in there. I love that curry so much, but it takes so long to make. But yeah, anyways, so that's kind of what we try to do. But again, the curry served over rice. That's another easy to digest thing. Yeah, and then, but I'm just so sick of living off of cereal and bagels and white bread. I want actual yummy food again, and I can't wait. I cannot wait until I get to eat it. But yeah, it's so this last week, I think mentally it's been hard because I'm just I'm so done and I want just to be over with, but I can't. At the same time, it's not something I can hurry up and just be okay, take it out of me now. I'm done. I have to wait. But yeah, the good thing that I keep, keeping in mind is all of her organs are now fully developed except her lungs. That's the one thing that takes a little longer to cook. But if she were something weird were to happen and she were to pop out now, she would be fine. It's I think it's a 98, 99% survivability rate. So that is very good. But yeah, so that makes me happy. But yeah, she's still, about 4 pounds now. So we still want her to gain about anywhere between 2 to 4 more before birth. Hopefully 3 to 4 more pounds before birth. And then she can come on out and get on out of there. I am really happy though, because you know, knock on wood again, but the probability of her being born early is pretty high in my family. Me, my brother, and my sister all came out 2 to 3 weeks early. My cousins, I learned the other day, they all came out 2, 3, even more, and then one of them came out even earlier, which, again, we don't really want that, but if it were to happen, we would, you know, we would make do and deal with it and get through it. And then my grandma, my nana, told me, oh, there's BB. She is frapping. Frapping, by the way, is when they have a huge burst of energy and they just run around. BB, what are you doing in there? Come here. There you go. Want to make sure she wasn't doing business in the baby's room. But anyways, my Nana told me too that all of my aunts and even my Uncle Kurt, who unfortunately died during childbirth, but they all came out 2 to 3 weeks early as well. And so, yeah, hopefully, oh, and my husband too. My husband came out 3 weeks early. We both were 37-week babies. So I'm really, really hoping and praying that this is the same for her. As soon as week like 36 and a half hits, I'm gonna be doing all of those, you know, wives' tales, how to induce labor naturally things, except castor oil. I will not be doing castor oil because apparently it makes you like puke and have nasty diarrhea and all the fun bodily functions, and it can be very harmful, and I don't want that. Especially, I want, you know, baby to come out safely. Oh, the other thing I'm sick and tired of is I don't like, and everybody says this happens during the 3rd trimester because your baby gets bigger, but I have to pee so much now. Like, it's ridiculous. And I'm tired of it. I used to be able to like, hey, are you guys playing? Yeah, they're playing. But I used to be able to like hold it, this is gonna be weird, for a long time. But now I know, you know, if I go to a movie, I'm gonna have to get up at least 2 times. Which kind of sucks. I have to like, I never had to really plan for that. But now I like, as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, okay, is like an intense scene coming up, or is this kind of like some exposition where I can ask my husband what happened, if anything, and run out real quick. So yeah, that's not been very fun. Okay, but that's enough about pregnancy symptoms and how sick and tired I am of all of them. Oh, I guess the last one is shortness of breath has started to kick in pretty heavily. If you can't tell by this why, I've had to stop and take some really deep breaths. But yeah, so that's fun. Okay. Anyways. What other oh, we have started kind of getting in like nesting mode, I mentioned a little bit earlier. So like last Thursday and Friday, I had like almost no clients at work. So I had a lot more time at home. So we washed and put away all of the like fabric-y items that will be touching baby. So all of her clothes, sheets, all of like any like infant insert that was able to be machine washed, little toys, like her little plushies, she just has a couple of them, socks, bows, hats, I think blankets, nursing covers, swaddles, all of those fun things, all of them got washed, and it's all folded and organized and in her dresser now. We went and got like diapers and wipes, at least enough to start out with. Although I'm also thinking that I want to try cloth diapering, see which one I like better. Originally, this was like back at like week 12 to 14 when I was kind of looking into cloth diapering. When like we were putting our registry together, I talked to my husband about it and he was like, I don't really want to, so we just kind of pushed that aside. But now I'm at a point where I'm thinking more about like toxicity stuff and like how like different toxic chemicals touching my little baby skin, and you know, trying to keep like bad things away from her when she's at such a vulnerable time in her life. Diapers, unless you buy like really, really expensive ones, they most likely have some form of toxic chemicals that will be touching your baby's skin. So, and like, I try not to worry about it because I was probably, you know, raised on Pampers or Huggies, because that was like when I was born, those were really like the only two big diaper brands out there, at least that I know of. My husband was probably, you know, put on the same ones, and we turned out just fine. But there's just so many other like weird things to think about now, like because microplastics are everywhere. So we're just trying to like limit those things as much as possible. And we definitely have limited them in other items of her life. I mean, like, we're very clean people. She'll be breastfed mainly, and then when she does have to be fed from a bottle, she will, like, we have glass ones with natural rubber tips on them that we're gonna start out and try. All the plastic stuff that we have to get her, like foam stuff, is BPA free and non-toxic. So we've been pretty careful about those things, but yeah, still is like a weird worry, but I want to at least try it. And then like, if I like it, the brand that I found that I really like online at least would save us money in the long run, and it would obviously be a huge, you know, environmental like impact lifter, which I am big on environmental consciousness and, you know, trying to help it out because it's important. And we want to have an earth to live on, and I want Celeste to have an earth to live on for her whole life too. So yeah, that we try to be environmentally conscious where we can. But yeah, so that's something I am probably going to probably next week. I will just order a trial pack. We're not gonna invest fully in it until we know that we like it, and that's something we want to do, but that way we have both options just to try out. So yeah, that'll be good. But yeah, baby's nursery is totally set up. Oh, we also got car seats in car. At least the bases are in, and the car seat fits beautifully. The next couple things that we would like to get, which I did say, we took the dog hammocks, that's what's sitting right here, out of our cars in order to fit the bases in, and then we cleaned our cars out too because there was so much of Chani's fur in there. And we wanted it to be at least as clean as possible for bringing our newborn baby home in a little bit when we did it. But anyways, I had to take him to work last week. Yeah, last week. Because they were pretty gross. Well, I say pretty gross. I like to wash my dogs every 2 weeks. I know that when baby comes, that probably won't happen. But, well, at least during her newborn phase when I'm not working, it probably won't happen. We'll probably have to do once every month, which will be fine. We'll brush and freshen up here. But Chani specifically sheds so much, and we try to furminate her and really get a lot of that fur out every 2 weeks. That helps at least the fur around the house be a lot more manageable. But anyways, I took them to my work last week, and I hadn't put the dog hammock back in. They still had they have seat belts that clip to their harnesses to keep them in place. But especially in case there is a crash, then they're safely in our car. But they did really good. Neither of them tried to like jump on or sit on the baby car seat base, so that was really good. But I know that when there's a baby there, and I know my girls and they love people to death, they will probably try to lick her and or play with her. And so we have found on Amazon they have a 2-seat hammock where it's like thicker material, but it goes up all the way around all 4 sides. And so I think that's the one we're gonna get, at least for my car. And then My husband, he probably will never have all 3 of them in his car at the same time. Unless like something really, really, really bad, knock on wood, happens. So yeah, we're gonna try that one out. But that's one of the next things to order. I'm trying to think of what else we're gonna get. I've been thinking too about possibly another diaper bag, a different one. If that's like kind of like a last minute possibility. I like our diaper bag a lot. It's great. And it's like spacious and roomy, and there's nothing wrong with it. I just like the look of a different one better. So again, that's why I'm waiting, because I'm like, I don't want to spend, X amount of money on just another bag that's gonna end up in a closet when we already have a perfectly good one, when it's just really for looks and not even functionality. So trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, next week I will not be able to do one of these because one, it's my OBGYN appointment, but number 2, we're a part of a research study at the University of Utah where it's mainly focused on how paternal or the father's health and like intellect, in a way. He had to take like some weird like intellectual test. It was really funny. But anyways, it's how that impacts the baby's health, but most importantly, the placenta's health, which I find very interesting. But it's also focused on mom's heart health and how that affects the baby's health as well, which I was very interested in that because of my heart issues. Not even issues, I had an issue and it's been solved. So it is, I am more healthy. I have a more healthy heart than the average person my age. So, yeah, but anyways. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, we have our next round of like tests and stuff next week as well. My husband has to give a couple samples to them just so that they can like double check them. And then we also have they're doing a 3rd trimester ultrasound on us as well. So we're very excited for that. We get to see baby girl and how she's doing. The last time we saw her, it's actually pinned on this wall, right there. But she was about as big as a bunch of carrots. She's now the size of either a pineapple or a size 9 women's Heeley. The little wheelie shoes they used to ride around in elementary school? Yeah, she's as big as one of those right now in my uterus. That's so much fun to think about. But yeah, so we get to go see her next week and we're excited, very excited for that. Yeah, but we'll be gone for basically the entire day. Man, it's like nap time now. Yeah, and then we also just have a lot to do. Oh, the other thing we're doing for pregnancy prep is freezer meals. We went like back and forth on which ones to make for a while, but I think we found some really good ones. Sorry, I need to get food in me soon. My tummy's starting to churn again. So much fun. But anyways, freezer meals. We've made about half of our meals. We wanted to do 5 plus some rice. And then we added on, we're gonna do some cookies and probably some Texas cake as well. So yeah, we will be, next week we've been doing about 1 a week for the last 2 weeks, but then we also did some burritos because we wanted to get rid of some of the old kind of like Beyond Meat and stuff in our freezer. And so we did that. But we have plenty of burritos, we have enchiladas, and we have the same curry we're eating this week. We like tripled the recipe, made so much, but we have that as well. Hoping BB wants to play with her toy. But yeah, so we have at least 3 done and ready. And then we're gonna be making, the Beyond Pot Pie We haven't made that since like our first year in marriage, and it is so good. And I am like, why did we not keep making this? But essentially, what everyone online was saying to do is to make like the stuffing or the filling essentially, and then freeze it. Just in the little like ramekin things that we use, and then which I think we actually threw those away, so we'll be needing to get more. When we moved, I think we threw them away. So we're like, we haven't used these in a year. That was kind of a mistake, but they were taking up so much space. Anyways though, so we gotta get those. But then when you take them out, thaw them, and throw them in the oven to cook, that's when you put the little like piece of pie essentially on top. And so I think that's what we're gonna do. So that will be good and easy. That one I think I want to make last or almost last because we only have so much space in our freezer. We do have a decent amount of room still on the shelf that we're putting the freezer meals on, but you know, we need, I think, the other ones. I think we're gonna do baked ziti this week. We'll make a pan or two of that because that's easy. And then we'll do our Beyond pot pies next week. Along with, at some point, we're just gonna make a big bin of Mexican rice or Spanish rice. Super easy to make, and then everyone says that when you like bring it out, it's easy because it's rice. You can just scoop it out frozen, like your portion, and leave the rest frozen, so you don't have to keep like, you know, thawing and unthawing. So we will be doing that. But yeah, really the only thing right now that we will need to, we'll probably make some garlic bread too and freeze that. That's really easy though. That will go with the baked ziti. But anyways, everyone says that, nope, I lost my train of thought. The only thing really that we'll have to make, besides like kind of like lunches, but we'll have bread. Thank goodness Costco sells like the quadruple packs of bread. We'll have like bread and bagels and like jam and peanut butter, and my husband likes tuna, so we'll have some tuna on hand for sandwiches for lunch. But dinner is really the only thing we'll have to make is like rice, and that's really easy because we have a rice maker that cooks so much. We got a really nice one when we moved. Mostly because our old one was like, we used it so much. Like we probably used it every other day because it only made so much rice because it was a small one. Nope, and BB wants to play with her toy again. But yeah, anyways, our new one makes so much, so we can make enough for like the entire week for both of us, plus some. So that is really nice. But yeah. Man, I'm tired. So that's baby prep that's been going on. It's crazy to think my birthday's coming up in like 3 weeks. I would usually be celebrating and buying myself presents right now. Because I don't have a birthday week or day, I have a birthday month. Really, it's like a birthday 3 months, because I really kind of extend it through almost Christmas to buy myself presents, which isn't a good thing. This year's been better because we have had a baby to focus on, but it's also been kind of weird because I'm like, oh yeah, what do I want on my birthday list? Dining chairs, that's what's going on my birthday. That's how you know you are an adult, because you ask for adult things instead of fun things. But yeah, so that's kind of weird to think about. The other funny thing is if baby girl, oh, she's moving, and that hurts. But if baby girl is born on her due date, it'll be 3 generations of the oldest girl in the family being born on the 10th in a consecutive month. My mom's birthday is September 10th. My birthday is October 10th. And her due date is November 10th. So it would be kind of cool if she was born on her actual due date. Even though I would hate that, I would not want to go another. I don't want to go 8 more weeks. I only want 5. That's how it works, right? I get to decide. I've been carrying her. I get to decide when she pops up. I wish. But yeah, it would be kind of funny if that were to happen. But yeah, that was a fun little tidbit. Okay, that should be all the baby things, at least I can think of. I'll get into like one kind of weird thing that's happened this week, and then we'll go into media. And it's gonna get a little political, so if you don't like that, you can turn the video off. I don't know. I don't have timestamps. I'm not that advanced, but anyways, this week there was apparently a rally at not even a rally. It was like the stupid thing that happened at Utah Valley University. This guy who's a terrible piece of garbage, I'll just say he's a terrible piece of shit, went to Utah Valley University and was debating students over political things. The students did not want him there, though. They actually signed a petition to the school to say, hey, please don't let this guy come. And the school declined. So he came anyways. And there happened to be some radical, radical conservative, there we go, is that how you say that? That decided he wanted to kill him, and so he did. Which is terrible, all right? We don't like violence. We don't condone violence in any way. But yeah, anyways, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't even know if I should name drop because apparently all the media companies are censoring. I guess if you don't know the name, you can look it up and you'll pretty easily find it. But yeah, anyways, this guy was a piece of garbage, and it has been really, really, really weird. Like a weird week, and I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone right now. But anyway, so that happened, and then on the same day, there was a school shooting in Colorado. And the school was 15 to 20 minutes from where me and Emery used to live. So really, really sad. We probably knew and taught kids in our church that had friends that went to the school. So that's devastating. There was 2 kids that died. Really sad. And then there was apparently some other girl that got shot or killed or something in one of the eastern states, my dad was saying. But it was just really weird how this particular guy, even though he was terrible and he was a white supremacist Nazi essentially, was made into a martyr. And not only that, because the media can do what they want, whatever. The media is they're totally sold. We've all known this for a long time. But now, especially since Trump and all of his billionaire friends are literally buying them and signing contracts with them, which is crazy because he's the one that's been going against them and saying they're biased against me and they hate me for years. And now he's buying them all up and signing contracts with them, and it's ridiculous. But it's been really weird to see very close family and friends, but mainly family members. And I'm talking a couple of my intermediate family members get on board with this train. They clearly haven't done any research. One of them, I will say, was my brother. He goes to BYU, which is basically right next door. These 2 universities are literally, the campuses are almost touching. They're that close. He had a friend that went to this rally, or I don't even know if you want to call it a rally, which already, for me and my husband, we're that's real sus, because this guy was terrible, and white supremacist, and your friend going there says a lot about his character. But he was there and saw him, get shot and killed, and that obviously would affect you in a way, but at the same time, you put yourself at a place where that would happen. And I think too, it did happen in the state of Utah. There's not a lot of gun violence here, not really a lot of violence to begin with. It's a pretty safe place to live because everybody's, Mormon and trying to live their best life for the most part. Obviously stuff still happens and bad people still, are around, but for the most part, it's a pretty safe environment, especially compared to Colorado where stuff would happen all the time. Not that Colorado's bad. We actually loved Colorado so much, and we would move back in a heartbeat if it wasn't so expensive. But anyways, but it was just really weird to see people make him into a martyr when I'm this guy he literally said things like the civil rights like act should be repealed, which would mean me and my husband couldn't be together. Like we just couldn't be together, because that act is basically what set it up so that we could be married and interracial marriage could happen. It sets it up so that my own child, who I have, been slaving away and laboring and going through all this excruciating pain for 8 months now, she wouldn't have the same rights as people, because her skin color will be a little bit darker. And that's not okay. He said things to the extent, well, he said that if his own daughter was raped, he would make her keep the baby and have the baby, which is ridiculous. Especially if they're like, they should have the chance if their body is violated that heavily. And so that's another like crazy thing. Again, we're having a little girl. Do you want her to grow up where she is, perceived, well, we're already perceived as less than men just based on what it is, but do you want your daughter or your granddaughter to grow up in, a even more highly toxic environment where, basically all she can be is a housewife and slave away while her husband gets to go have fun all day? I don't think I want that for my daughter. He said he doesn't believe in empathy, so why should we show him empathy? He also said a lot, this was a lot of what he was debating people on, besides like the Civil Rights Act and movement, which is ridiculous. Why would you debate anyone on that? But he also would debate people on gun safety, which I know is a hot topic always in this country, but he said he was okay. He literally said he was okay if a couple people died so that we can still have guns and our Second Amendment rights, which the Second Amendment rights is like, it's total bullshit, but whatever. People have interpreted it very differently than what it actually means. But anyways, he literally said that. And so he's one of the people to die so we can keep our Second Amendment's rights. So I think that's just fine. But right before he actually got shot, that's what he was debating, was on guns. So really, like, it really goes to show, be careful what you say into the world. But also, it's just been really weird because me and my husband feel like we're living in the Twilight Zone, where like all these people are like idolizing this horrendous person who spread so much hate and sparked so much violence in this country, and is trying to target young, especially young men that are feeling very vulnerable and like they're trying to figure out their place in the world, and convert them to this really scary form of, conservatism. And conservatism's already terrible, but that's a different story. But it's just really kind of been scary and weird for me and my husband to see, especially people that we thought, were intelligent enough and had enough, empathy and like brain power to think that through and to realize, oh, you know what, this guy was terrible. And like, yeah, we should be sad that violence occurred. But at the same time, you didn't hear anything about the other 2 shootings that happened. There was none of that on the news. It was all about this one guy. And that was all anybody talked about around here too. And it was just really, really weird and really bizarre. And then to make matters even worse, it was like the day after or 2 days after was 9/11. I didn't hear or see a single news story on 9/11. And that has not happened to me my entire life. Like, 9/11 is really big in this country because of the impact it had, and for good reasons. It was a absolutely terrible act of violence and, terrorism on this country. But for some reason, this one guy who was a piece of shit and spreading hate, which is the same thing Osama bin Laden was doing, he got murdered or turned into a martyr, and that's all anyone could talk about. And like, our own vice president didn't even go to the memorial service. Our own president fell asleep at the memorial service. Like, that says a lot about a person's character. Yet they're going online and tweeting about how sad they are that this one guy who's garbage died. So yeah, me and my husband have decided we're drawing a line. If we have warned family members at least our intermediate family members. But if they are to talk about these people in a good manner, or in a, their great manner, or in, oh, how sad they died, oh my goodness, how sad, which that's one thing to be like, that's really, sad that this happened. And me and my husband, yeah, we feel bad for, for his family, because nobody should have to grow up without a father. But do we feel bad for him? No, not at all. He put this upon himself. He talked about this. He put himself in that position. And so it's one thing to be sad about the violence. It's another thing to be sad that this guy in particular died. Because there are plenty of other acts of violence that happen, and nothing is done about them every single day. Nothing. School shootings, right? Nobody gives a flying flip about school shootings. Yeah, this one guy died and everybody suddenly, turned. So, me and my husband have been calling them pocket Nazis or pocket fascists. But now a lot of it is kind of out in the open, and we can clearly see that. We do not want that around our daughter. We do not want her to grow up. I'm going to start crying. We don't want her to grow up thinking that, Auntie Sue, or, just to use an example, but Auntie Sue, or, great aunt so-and-so, or uncle so-and-so, we do not want her to grow up and start to realize, hey, they kind of support these things that target me based on something I cannot control. Does that mean they don't love me? I don't want her growing up thinking those things. So, yeah, we're cutting people off. Kendrick Lamar in one of his songs said something along the lines of, I'll cut my granny off if she don't see it how I see it. This is something that I think that heavily applies to, because it's one thing if it's me and Emmer. Now it's a whole different story because there is a child involved, and she deserves to grow up feeling loved and feeling like she cares and matters and that she can do anything, just like I had the chance to. And just like, my husband was able to as well. Obviously he experienced some racism because of the color of his skin, but, he still grew up believing that he could do whatever he wanted in the world. He just had to be a little more careful. But I do not want my daughter growing up believing that she's any less loved because so-and-so supports some radical person that wants her kind annihilated. So yeah, that's that. And I don't care who it is, mom, dad, brother, sister, grandma, grandpa, they're out. If they bring this stuff up around me and my family. And we're watching closely. There's a lot that you can watch, and a lot of people say that tell their true character, and what they really believe. And so, yeah, that's it. Really sad because we came out here to be closer to family, but I have to keep reminding myself, and me and my husband had a great talk about this, but my family is all white. That's not, it's not to say it's a bad thing, but it just means we don't think naturally. And I've noticed this over the last couple years as me and my husband have, once we were dating and then once we were together, but you don't think about racism and how it affects someone's day-to-day life in the same way as when it actually is affecting you. And that's something like I've really learned and grown as a person, and I'm really glad that I now understand, and I have kind of more of that, I guess that sight, the hindsight almost. And so I kind of have to keep reminding myself, hey, my family is white. They don't think about these things. But at the same time, now it's their granddaughter or their, niece or their great-granddaughter. And whether they like it or not, it affects them now. And so they have to be careful about it and think about those things a little more clearly. Because otherwise, bye-bye. So long, farewell. There's already extended family members that we know we are cutting off because of their beliefs. And we're okay with that. My mom and dad don't love that we're doing that, but it's what we feel is best and safest for our kid at this point. But yeah. So that's that. A lot of people too were always saying things like, well, the checks and balance, that's like, saying stuff like that doesn't matter because checks and balances in this country. The checks and balances are dead in this country. Things are getting really scary. The Supreme Court, in case you didn't hear, has now also issued that they think that it is not against the Constitution to arrest someone because they have a different skin color than white. So it is now okay for ICE to pull my husband over because he's brown. It is okay for ICE to raid my mother-in-law's school because it's mainly brown kids. And what if the brown kids are selling cocaine? Oh my goodness, what if they are? Think of the children. And it's so sad to like think that they have to go through this, and it makes me worried. It makes me worried sick every day, thinking that my own daughter could go to school and get arrested because she's gonna come out a little brown, and that's okay. We're gonna love her no matter what. But it's really sad that this is where things are at now in this country, and really scary, especially because Provo County, Utah County, they a few months ago decided to partner their police with ICE, so they're, over there doing their thing. We're really close to that border. We're still in Salt Lake County though, thank goodness. And Salt Lake County is a lot more blue leaning. I don't think it will come to that point in Salt Lake County, but also, Trump's been sending the National Guard to weird places to do really stupid things. Like he sent them to Washington, D.C. because there were bad people there. There were no bad people, so they ended up like gardening for like 30 weeks. And these poor people, they have other jobs because the National Guard isn't like, it isn't like the army or the military where that's your full-time job. It's people do that like as an act of service on the weekend. My great grandpa Winchester did that when he was around. But yeah, so these people like had to go away from their full-time jobs to go garden at the White House because Trump's an idiot. But yeah, anyways, that's my little spiel on that. Just be careful what you say around people. Think more critically about the kinds of people you're like really sad about dying. Again, we're sad that it was an act of violence that should never happen, but we're not sad about who it was, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, because he was terrible. But yeah, be careful about, what media sources and stuff you are listening to these days, and really think about it. But yeah, okay, that's my spiel on that. Now we can go into fun media things that we consumed. What did we do? Oh, we went to the Demon Slayer movie. So the Demon Slayer is an anime that I watched. When was it? I think it was right before I came to Denver, and then I was also watching it in Denver a little bit, and then I made my husband watch it as well, and he loves it. So we watched the last couple of seasons together, along with I rewatched all the first couple seasons with him. But how they're doing the last couple arcs is in movies. So they're doing 3 movies. The next one comes out in 2 years, and the one after that comes out 2 years later. So we're gonna have to wait, 4 years to finish this. But the first movie came out this weekend, and we went and saw it, and it was great. There was like a little part that dragged on for a little too long at the end. It was someone's backstory where we both thought if this had been like done in a standard, anime segment, it would have been done. It would have been done in 1 episode or about 20 minutes, but because it was a movie, they dragged it on for about, it seemed like when we were watching it was closer to like 40 minutes. Which again, it was fine. It was a great backstory. We love that. We love the character that it was developing, but it dragged on just a little too long for our liking. So yeah, but other than that, really great. There were a lot of really kind of crazy twists and turns, especially at the very beginning, that we didn't think would happen. So that was fun. What else was there? Oh, Only Murderers in the Building came out with season 5 or 6. I forgot which one we're on. I think it's 5. Really, really funny. We love that show so much. the three main characters, what is it, Steve Martin, Selena Gomez, and Martin Short, I believe. They do a great job. They carry that show. And then Howard, which is one of the residents in the apartment. He's hilarious. But he's the best. So we love that. But yeah, that was fun because they came out with, last week they released the first 3 episodes, and then they released, every Tuesday the new episode comes out, so we got to watch that last night. Alien, the TV series, we were caught up to until last night. We're going to watch the next episode either tonight or over the weekend. We'll see how we're feeling. So yeah. What else did we do? We got back on and started playing more Marvel Rivals. That's been fun. It's so dumb because every season they reset your rank down 3 ranks. And so technically it was season 1, we made it to Grandmaster. Way past where we thought we would have. We just we're playing it for fun, and we knew that we were good enough to be in high plat and then diamond kind of area is where we generally feel like we lay, but we made it past that into Grandmaster. But because we didn't play for a while, we are now, we got reset into, I think it was silver, climbed back up almost to platinum, and then the new season just hit last week, and so we got reset again, down again 3 ranks. I don't like that they do this. But anyways, we got reset all the way down to, it was bronze. Yeah, bronze, which sucked because that's the bottom. We're back up to almost gold now, already in 2 weeks. But it is definitely an ELO hell type of grind. We can't wait till we're in gold and we can start banning characters again. Because there are certain characters that if the other team plays and they're decent at them, they are so overpowered, and they just, especially if you're in bronze or silver and your teammates don't know how to deal with these people yet, then that's really difficult. But yeah, so that's been fun. And started last night. I picked Fallout New Vegas up again for the first time in it's 3 weeks. It's been a while. So that was fun. We played a little bit of that. I played it after my hands started cramping up from knitting, so it was fun to have a little break. I'll probably pick that back up later today. I think that's everything media related. Just been watching a lot of random stupid YouTube content. A lot of nesting videos, just because I'm in that mode kind of now. Starting to feel it. Not crazy amounts, but enough to where I'm I felt it more, it was last week and the week before, where I'm okay, we really need to get this organized and cleaned. But now it's kind of slowed back down again because we got a lot of that done. Yeah, but most of the big things around the house are done. The only big thing that will happen next will be, if I do get dining chairs for my birthday, we'll have to move just a couple of little things around downstairs. But the big kind of moving things around will be when our couch comes, which supposedly is going to be the end of October, which kind of sucks because that's right when baby's supposed to come, but it's okay. Well, I was hoping to have it by now. We were supposed to have it by now, but somebody ordered it a little late. But you didn't hear that from me. But that's okay. So, it's my mom's furniture company, so I'm not gonna, hold that against her or anyone. But we were really excited to have a actual couch. I think both of us are more than excited, and we know the girls will love our couch. But yeah, anyways, so that will be kind of the big rearranging downstairs, which it won't be crazy. It'll just be moving a couple of things around. But yeah, that's really it. I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, the nesting stuff. Yeah, that's really it for moving things around. This cart might be the only other thing. And then once we get really, really close, going into labor close, we will move her bassinet into our room. It has wheels, so it'll be nice and easy. And then yeah, probably week 34, 35 is when we'll actually put the sheets and stuff on the crib and like the car seat in the car and all that, just so that it is all nice and ready. But yeah, hospital bag is basically packed. There's just a couple little things I need to throw in and get all done. Like one of them is my postpartum stuff. I have got to pack that, but I'll probably do that next week. But at least like the bulk of it's there, and everything else I know that the hospital technically provides. So we should be fine. But yeah, that's really it for pregnancy nesting media and dumb world stuff. But yeah, I just keep losing my train of thought. Well, I'm going to go now walk my girls so they can do their business. I can tell they need to, and then finish cleaning the house, and then get to blocking. I'm excited to block. Yeah, and then I think that's really all I have to do today. So not too much left to do, and then obviously post this. I should post this today, hopefully. Sometimes I put it off a day because I forget. Even though it takes 2 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna sign off now though, because I'm rambling on too long. Pregnancy brain is a real thing. But yeah, we will see you in probably 2 weeks. If I have time, we'll see. So stay safe until then. Hopefully my sleeves will be almost done, or at least the decreased parts. But until then, stay safe. Be careful about what you consume online and who you prop up to be a great person. Have a good one. Bye-bye.